Hi everyone, this is Melanie back again, and I'm going to do a 31-week update for you guys. And since this is my first pregnancy update, it'll sort of be like from 0 weeks all the way up to 31 weeks. So I'll just start at the beginning. I had no idea that I was pregnant. And I'm sure that I'm not the first person to have had this issue. I went in for an ultrasound to check on an ovarian cyst that I had. So at the ultrasound is when I found out I was pregnant. And I was 8 weeks and 3 days at that point. And that's when the journey started. And I just feel so accomplished that I've made it this far, because this has not been an easy pregnancy, and this has really been feel as you go, since I don't really know that I didn't have a lot of knowledge about pregnancy before I became pregnant. So I would say around 14 weeks, I had an incident at work where a patient kicked me and I almost miscarried. So that was scary, and I would not wish that on anyone ever, ever. And I have not worked since that point, which is okay. Financially, on my husband and I, it's been, you know, we're really having to revamp the way that we do things, but we've made it. And as long as the baby's healthy, then all sacrifices are worth it. And one thing that I have had issues with that's ongoing is a yeast infection. It seems like as soon as I get rid of it, it comes back. So my doctor keeps giving me a cream, and at first I would just use it as needed and then stop, and then I have to start back again. So what I do now is every day I put on this cream barrier just to make sure that I don't get one, because when I do, it's so terrible and I'm so irritated by it. So it's sort of like diaper rash cream. Some mothers put diaper rash cream on their babies every day, you know, for every diaper change, and that's exactly what I do. And that's just a precaution, just to make sure, because I don't like those, and that's just one thing that I do. And for anyone that has an issue like that, it's definitely, you know, a good thing to try, because you have so much more discharge and goopy stuff going on down there that it's really hard to keep that area dry and maintained. So that's just what I do. And I'm looking down at my list. I have a list down here. And also, since I mentioned discharge, I have had an increase since about 28 weeks in discharge, and my need for panty liners is a lot higher than it was before. So now I just buy in bulk, and that's fine. Another thing is sort of like one of the myths about pregnancy is that your skin is radiant and you glow and all those things. And I'm sure maybe I glow, I'm not sure. But my skin has been horrible. I've had breakouts. I've got dark spots all along my chin from these huge blistery looking acne things. And I've had rashes on pretty much all of my body at this point, and it's just been terrible. So once again, my doctor is really into creams. He doesn't really want to give me any pills or anything to help with this, and sometimes I do take the occasional Benadryl to help with the itching. Another thing that I had that just made this pregnancy just great is Fifth's disease. And I had no idea what it was. Nobody had any idea what it was. It was terrible. When it started, I was about 18 or 19 weeks at that time, and it started with swelling of my ankles, and I just figured that maybe I was maintaining, you know, holding in water or something. No. Then the next step was a rash that appeared pretty much all over my body, little red bumps. I looked like a leper. I was terrible looking, really. And then came the fever. I would have fevers ranging from 104, 103, and you know, I was really concerned. Excuse me, that's my phone. I was really concerned because I know that when you're pregnant, you should not have a fever because you could basically be cooking the baby and all these things. So I was calling my doctor back and forth, and he was like, you know, just don't worry about it. Take some Tylenol, get some rest, drink some water. That's the thing that they tell pregnant women. If you have an issue, take Tylenol, lay down, drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Okay. So I was like, all right. So I was thinking maybe I had what was called PUPS, which is an all over rash that some pregnant women get. Had no idea. And then came the last symptom, which was weakness in the joints. Basically, my knees and my wrists were so weak. My wrists were so weak that I could not pick up my purse. I couldn't do anything for myself. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't bathe myself. I was a mess. I was a mess for about 2 weeks. And I had been feeling kind of icky for longer than that, but I just figured that, hey, I was pregnant, deal with it. Had no idea how bad it was. But it's over now. If you want some more information about Fisk disease, let me know, and I can give you some information about it. It's not rare. It's just not that heard of. You see it a lot in children. But let me know. It's Fisk disease, FIFTH' disease. And another thing that I'm glad I don't have anymore, during my first trimester I had headaches that were just terrible, but I don't have that issue anymore. And now something that's coming back from the first trimester is the breast discomfort. During my second trimester, things were great except for the Fisk disease episode. My breasts are so sensitive and tender and just really irritated that I have started using the Lansano Lanolin breast cream that you use for breastfeeding. I have started using that because I have been severely affected in the breast area. And another thing that's coming back is a lack of appetite. For the second trimester, I'll say that my appetite picked up just a little bit, but not much. I was overweight pre-pregnancy, and since I have become pregnant, I've lost about 30 pounds. And my doctor's been monitoring my weight, and he said that if I lose any more, he'll send me to a dietitian. But right now, since the baby's healthy, I'm not that concerned about it. And I have been researching, and I see that some women that are overweight just don't gain as much weight during pregnancy. It's not that necessary for us to do that. As long as we're eating a healthy diet and the baby's healthy, not in distress, things are fine. So I'm not concerned about my weight at this point. Of course, after pregnancy, I will be working on my weight to get down to a healthy weight. And lack of energy, that's back with a vengeance. I am tired. I do not tolerate the heat well. I am in Alabama, and it just feels like the surface of the sun by like 10 a.m. So I just don't go outside unless I have to. It just does not happen. And something that I've always had issues with is constipation. Not always. I would say for about a year, starting March of last year, I became chronically constipated, just sort of randomly. And I would say that maybe it was due to an IUD that I had placed in January of 2010. And I'm not sure. I had the IUD placed, like I said, January of last year. And I had to have it removed in May because I developed a cervical cyst, an ovarian cyst. So I had that removed, but March I just started to become constipated, and it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. I had anal tears. I would have bleeding. So all those things were already happening. Those were occurring before I got pregnant. And now it is way worse. It is way, way worse. I was actually going to go in January of this year to have a, what's that thing called? A look at my intestines. I'm sorry, I'll put it in the down bar. Pregnancy brain. I was going to go to a doctor and get a colonoscopy. There it is. Sorry. I was gonna have a colonoscopy, but since I was pregnant, I couldn't do it. So after I have the baby, I will definitely have a colonoscopy and whatever else it takes, because it is terrible. I have more anal tears now. The bleeding is horrendous and scary now, and the healing time is a lot worse. I have resorted to Tux pads now after going to the bathroom. I'm on Miralax and Lactulose and stool softeners daily to only get a result of going to the bathroom about once or twice a week. So, I am very ready to have this baby, because the discomfort of constipation is real for me, and I'm ready for it to be over. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is, due to my constipation issues and the pain that I have going to the bathroom, I have become more anxious and had a little bit of worry and fear about labor. I'm just afraid, but I'm putting all my trust in God, and I know that women have been having babies since the beginning of time, and that's just where I have to put my mind, because I know fear is not of God. So I just have to keep my mind in a happy place. But I am very anxious about labor, and I will in later videos I will discuss a little bit more about that. I'm not sure what my time is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. If you have any questions, just hit me up, or you can private message me if necessary. And I'll be back to you soon with another video. Bye, YouTube.